That's why I'm glad that Trump called Africa a shithole. Your country, you're making it look like a shithole. Do something about it. African puppet leaders are in trouble now that Trump won the election. Yes, guys, the time has come for these sellouts. The time has come for them. Because when Trump was president, Trump was sick of them asking for help all the time, asking for aid, relying on the US. Also, Trump is also against mass migration. So Trump told them, listen, I give you guys a few simple tasks. Go to your country, build your line of defense.
Terrorism here and terrorism all over the world. It's a hotbed, and we're going to be stopping that. To make the world safer from rogue regimes, terrorism, and revisionist powers, we are asking our friends and allies to invest in their own defenses and to meet their financial obligation.
And also eradicate corruption.
The United States is currently working to expand trade and commercial ties with African nations, so taking several steps to fight corruption and improve business climate. And most of all, to me, and again, is ripping down those trade barriers.
Building their lines of defense, which pretty much includes rebuilding the military, the police. Trump even offers to help them build the police, like build a system to ensure the security of their people. And also eradicate corruption, because that will create a business-friendly environment. This way they can attract more investors and more companies can be built in their countries, which will create more jobs for their people. And this way the people don't have to leave their countries and mass migrate to Europe, to the US, and all these places.
Each of you has the power to change hearts, transform lives, and shape your country's destinies. With this power comes an obligation, however, a duty of loyalty to the people, workers, and customers who have made you who you are. So together, let us resolve to use our power, our resources, and our voices, not just for ourselves, but for our people, to lift their burdens, to raise their hopes, and to empower their dreams.
But these sellouts are in the pockets of the globalists, and the globalists are pro-mass migration, are pro-great replacement, and they want, and the end goal is the enslavement of the whole human race. So these guys thought that Trump did not have any power. So because even George Soros was like, no, Trump is a phenomenon that will be dealt with by 2020. So those guys, instead of doing what Trump asked them to do, they just stood by. They just stood by. They were delaying things, taking things slow and stuff like that. And then also Trump, because it was his first time being president, he pretty much was infiltrated.
How did you know who to appoint?
Well, I didn't. I had no experience. I had to rely on people that I respected or liked, but that I didn't know that well, because I didn't know them that well. And I'd rely on them, and I'd rely on other people. So all of a sudden, people would come in, I'd like to recommend so-and-so to be Secretary of State, and I'd have 3, 4 people recommend. The biggest mistake I made was I picked some people that I shouldn't have picked. I picked a few people that I shouldn't have picked. And
neocons?
Yeah, neocons, or bad people, or disloyal people, or
people that were just
people
bad,
that were into the
you got bad advice.
Yeah.
So there were some people that were undermining his work. This way, they can give the image that Trump doesn't have no power, Trump can do nothing, to those puppets in Africa. All right? So those puppets, they were like, oh yeah, Trump is not really that powerful, and Trump will be gone soon. And when Trump left in 2020, they were all happy. They was like, oh yes, it's finally gone. Now we can move on with the agenda of our masters, which are the globalists. The globalists are the masters. So they went on overdrive. And then now Trump is back. And I think Trump was actually watching from the sideline. Like, I think, I might have now I'm having thoughts, right? I'm thinking that maybe Trump left in 2020 because he wanted to really like see who is a sellout all around the world. Because when Trump comes back, they're going to be a clean out. Like all around the world, they're going to be a clean out. Because Trump want to attack the problem of migration to its roots. To its roots. Like, he's going to close the border, but he's like, listen, I'm going to close the border, but I want to help you guys too. I want you guys to build your country. This way we can come together stronger. We can come together, all powerful, all of us, all at the same time, and making some big contract and benefiting each other, So he's teaching them how to fish, but those guys don't want to do it because that's against the agenda of their masters. So like now Trump was able to see who did what they were supposed to do. That's why I'm saying people like Ibrahim Traoré, Assimi Goïta, and General Tiani from Niger, those people are going to be getting along well with Trump, with Putin, like with people that really want the best for their people. Because Trump told them to take care of their people. But those African puppets, those leaders, they do not want to take care of their people. So like now Trump is back, party is over. Because now Trump has seen, he knows they can't hide no more. They already have shown their true color. Because they never thought that Trump would come back. Now Trump came back and is coming back with a vengeance. With a vengeance. He will have no more mercy on these fools, guys. Like even in the USA, the people that infiltrated him, that were undermining him in his first term, he's not going to hire them anymore. So like now, party is over for these African leaders. These puppets are going to be gone. Their time is done. They will wish that they had never undermined their people, neglected their people. It's over, guys. It's done. Those puppets are in trouble, guys. That's why I'm saying like all the African immigrants in Europe, in America, that are complaining, that are panicking, no, Trump this. If anything, we should all stand behind Trump and encourage him and speak up against our leaders back home. This way Trump can hold all of them accountable and kick them out. Because the US influences the world. It's the US and Europe, is NATO that has placed these corrupt leaders in power. Why? Because NATO and the US were infiltrated by bad leaders, also by globalists. But like now we have someone that's actually against globalism, that's against those puppet masters, that control the world. Of course, so like now, he can use the same US, that same power that the US has, to do something good in other countries, to reverse the damage that the US has caused. Now so if anything, we should all stand behind the man that's trying to reverse the damage that the US has done, that NATO has done around the world, So yeah, so like we should all join this fight, all support Trump and ask him and support him and speak up against those like puppets so that he can expedite the process of removing them and holding them accountable. Guys, when Trump comes back, it's going to be a cleanup of the whole entire earth, the whole world. Like all those leaders won't have nowhere to hide. That's why I believe he stood by for the last 4 years, him and his team, and people in high places just observing who is in, who is not, Like that was actually a good thing that he lost in 2020. Or I don't know if he lost or not, but like that, at least he didn't pass through in 2020, because that actually gave a good optic to those fools, because those fools thought that it was over for him, that he wouldn't come back, that he's gone. So like now Trump was just playing the weak guy when he was observing, okay, who's making deals with the sellouts, who's making deals with the puppet masters, with all those fools, like all those slave masters and shit. So like now those people are backed into a corner, into a wall. They can't escape no more. Some of them may try to redeem themselves. It's never, then they're gonna have to maybe be witness and tell the truth to the people. But yeah, like just look at how they all came to the Africa summits. As soon as Trump lost, they all came to the Africa summits 2022 in Washington, D.C., the US Africa summits. They were so happy. They were like, oh yeah, Trump is gone. They had big smiles, all these puppets, they all came to the US for the US Africa summit. And they made some deals with the globalists. They even signed their Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063. That agenda is bad. I have spoken about it, against it from day one. Like from the day I heard about it, I was like, this is bad. That's for the enslavement of Africa That's enslavement of Africa, of all humanity. And only the elites are gonna be living well at that time. Yeah, guys, so you get the point, guys, you get the point. So African leaders are in trouble now that Trump won the election. Trump asked them a few simple things. Build your line of defense. Also, eradicate corruption in your country. And these fools did not do it. He asked them to take care of their people. These fools did not do it. Their time is over. That's why I'm glad that Trump called Africa a shithole. When he called Africa a shithole, he was actually talking to those guys. Those guys, he was telling them, listen, you guys, your country, you're making it look like a shithole. Do something about it. But we didn't peep that. Instead of being like, oh no, Trump is insulting us. Like, how the fuck is he insulting us? He's calling it like it is. Africa looks like a shithole. We gotta be honest with ourselves. If you go to Africa, the majority of places, like there are slums everywhere. The environment is dirty and shit. Instead of getting mad, we should actually look at those leaders and say, see, stop embarrassing us. Now do something about it. Because, okay, if Africa doesn't look like a shithole, prove us then. Prove it to Trump. Prove him wrong. Okay? So now these leaders have to step up and then show that Africa is not a shithole. They had to prove to Trump, but they failed to do so because they know that Trump wasn't lying. Anyways, guys, you get the point. Trump is applying pressure to those people. He's holding them to a higher standard. He's showing, like, this is what you call tough love. Tough love. All right? Like, this, like, it's different. Like, let's say somebody doesn't want you to come to his house and doesn't care about you at all, doesn't help you at all. That's different than somebody not wanting you to come to his house because there is not enough room for everyone, but at the same time he's telling you that, hey, listen, what you're looking for in my house, you can have it in your house, and I can help you. I can teach you how to fish. I can show you how you can build, you can replicate what I have in my house in your own house. That is what Trump is doing. He's trying to help us, he's trying to help Africa build something, even if he doesn't have to do it, but he's doing it because he wants this migration stuff, he wants this like dependency stuff to end. He wants Africa to be autonomous. He's like, do your own thing over there, and we can always come together, but when we are stronger, when we are all powerful, when we all have something to offer to everyone, it can't just be one-sided. You get the point? So that's why it's like, listen, because like, think about it, right? The whole world cannot move to one country and live there. There's not going to be enough space for everyone, enough resource for everyone, enough opportunities for everyone. That's going to be a bloodbath. People are going to start like competing for the same jobs, for the same resources, for the same houses. It's going to be a bloodbath. You know, that's why there are multiple countries in the world and multiple ethnicities, people living with their own people, living in their own places and stuff like that. It makes sense. But unfortunately, because only a few countries in the world have some structure, that's why people like to migrate and stuff like that. But now, if all countries have structure, that will give people more options. Humanity will have more options. People can travel. They can go to, let's say, to East Africa, West Africa, you know, go to Northern Europe by choice and not by necessity. You get the point, guys? You get the points? Yeah, so you get the points. African leaders are in trouble now that Trump won the election. The time has come for these sellouts. They are done.
When people are forgotten, the world becomes fractured.